welcome to English Study Hour. Today we are talking about the forms of purpose. We are learning how to build the sentences of purpose in English. We need to sometimes answer the question why. Why we do something, why we are going to do something. And these answers we're going to build with the help of purpose forms. So let's start. So as I have just mentioned, we use the purpose sentences to explain why we are doing something or why we are going to do something. What is the reason? What is the purpose for what we are doing something or going to do it? We have a variety of forms that help us build the sentences of purpose. And the first one, the easiest one, is simply to. After to, we use verb. For example, I go to the cinema to watch a movie with my cousin. This could be also the answer to the question why I'm going to the cinema. The answer is I'm going to the cinema to watch a movie with my cousin. To watch. This is my purpose of going to the cinema. As you see, after preposition to, I'm using the verb watch, to watch. The second form is similar to the first one, in order to, plus verb. For example, Nelly sent me an email in order to share all her recent reports with me. Nelly sent me an email in order to share some information. In order to share, we use in order to plus verb, share. Another example, I took some days off in order to redecorate my new home. I took some days off in order to do something. In this case, redecorate my new home. In order to, we use again to plus simple verb form, redecorate. The next form, so as to. After this form, again, we need to use simple verb, so as to plus verb. And again, we are talking about, of course, the purpose. In this sentence, we are talking about the purpose if we are using the form so as to. Let's look at example. I canceled my appointment with Mary so as to visit my uncle. I canceled my appointment with Mary so as to visit my uncle. So as to. We have in this sentence the form so as to. So as to plus verb. That means a purpose of the cancellation of the meeting with Mary. So why did I cancel it? It's because I want to visit my uncle. So I canceled the meeting so as to visit my uncle. So that. Let's talk about another form which also shows the purpose in the sentence. This form is so that. After this form, in present tense, we need to use a subject, a modal verb can, may, or will, and then the main verb of the sentence. In the past, after the form so that, we need to use a subject, one of the modal verbs, either could or might or would, and a main verb of the sentence. Let's look at examples. Number 1, Mary has invited me for a cup of coffee so that we could spend some time chit-chatting. In this sentence, we see that Mary has invited me. That's the past action. Since it's a past action, we need to use in the second part after so that modal verb in the past. We have three options: could, would, or might. I chose to use the option could. Because of that, I have the form so that we could. So that we could spend some time chit-chatting. So that we, subject, could, modal verb, expressing past, referring to the past event, spend, simple verb of the sentence, showing us the activity which we did. The second example. Last year, Richard took me to a Christmas market in London so that I could buy some memorable gifts for my family. Richard took me to London so that I could buy. So we are showing the reason why Richard took me to the market, right? Richard took me to the market so that I, subject, could, modal verb in the past, buy. Simple verb of the sentence. Gifts for my family. Another form of purpose is in order that. Previously, we spoke about the form in order to, and we said that after the form in order to, we use verb. But now, after the form in order that, which actually means the same as in order to, but grammatically they're different, yeah? Therefore, after the form in order that, we also need to use a subject, a modal verb, and a simple verb of the sentence. Present tense or future tense. In order that plus subject plus can, may, will, one of these modal verbs, plus the main verb of the sentence. For past forms, in order that plus a subject plus could, would, might, one of these verbs, plus the main verb of the sentence. For example, my mother called me in the morning and invited me for dinner in order that we could talk about everything. In this sentence, we have a past form. We learned that this is a past form from the first part of the sentence. My mother called me and invited me. Therefore, I need to use subject, then modal verb, could, plus a simple verb of the sentence. We also have a couple of negative forms that help us to show the purpose. Let's talk about them. So, negative forms showing purpose. And the first one is so as not to. For example, Lizzie hasn't come to the university today so as not to do a test. As you see, after this form, we use simple verb, so as not to do a test. The second negative form, in order not to. After this form, we use simple verb. For example, Nelly took a taxi in order not to lose her time on waiting for a bus. As you see, we explain the purpose of taking a taxi in order not to lose time. We explain why she took a taxi, a purpose of taking a taxi. And the last form is not to, simply not to. And again, after this form, we use a simple verb. For example, we had a dinner at Maya's cafe yesterday, not to cook anything substantial at home. As you see, in this sentence, we use not to tell about the purpose. Why did we go to Maya's cafe? Why did we go to Maya's cafe? You might ask. We went to Maya's cafe not to cook anything substantial at home. Not to cook is the purpose why we went to a cafe and didn't have a dinner at home. We also have the other word combinations that help us to show purpose in the sentence, to express the purpose. These are the following: with the aim of, for the purpose of, with the objective of, with the intention of. And after all of them, we need to use verb ing. Let's look at examples. Number 1, Richard came to work later today with the aim of staying longer in the evening to proofread all the documents in silence. So in this sentence, we use the word combination with the aim of plus verb ing, staying longer. Richard came later because he wanted to stay longer. So he came later. Why? With the purpose of staying longer. We explain why he came later. He came later with the aim of staying longer. The second example, Mary donated her fortune to the city council with the intention of establishing a new educational center. Mary has donated something, but why? Mary has donated her funds, but why? Why did she do it? And here we explain the purpose of her action, the purpose of her donation. So she donated her money with the intention of, plus verb ing, establishing an educational center. And the last form, which helps us to show purpose in sentences, is for someone to do something. For example, I have given Andy my textbook for him to study before the exam. For him to study. So that is the answer to the question why I gave Andy my textbook. I gave it for him to study. This is the construction that shows a purpose. Another example. I'm going to cook tonight for my sister to relax after a long working day. And one more example. I'm sending Mary all our previous reports for her to analyze them carefully before preparing the new one. In these sentences, we use for someone to do something, and this form also shows purpose. The purpose why one person is doing something for another person. Today we talked about grammatical forms, how to show the purpose. I hope you found this video useful. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you!